Imagine, you sit down, close your eyes, and do nothing. No phone, no noise, just silence. But something incredible starts happening inside your head. Your brain begins to change. Neurons fire differently, stress levels drop, and your mind slowly shifts into a whole new state. So what's really going on up there when you meditate? In this videocast, we're going to uncover what science says about how meditation transforms your brain, and maybe your life too.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. You hand us the sources, we give you the shortcut to understanding the complex mechanics of the world.
Today, we are moving past just, the simple idea of mindfulness.
Yeah, we're going deep. We're looking into the actual science of meditation, how this practice, physically and permanently, changes the very infrastructure of your brain.
Right, we're examining neuroplasticity in action. So our mission for you, the listener, is to understand the hard science behind why consistent meditation doesn't just make you feel temporarily calmer.
Right.
It actually makes you a structurally calmer, more focused, and more resilient human being.
And to guide this deep dive, we're using this brilliant analogy that kept coming up in the source material. Think of your brain as a massive, sprawling, complex city. And this city is just alive with constant activity. The cars are your neural impulses. The roads are all the connections.
And meditation in this analogy is not just pulling over for a rest stop. It's an active, deliberate form of civil engineering.
Civil engineering. I like that.
When you practice, you are identifying outdated infrastructure, you're clearing traffic jams, and you're building brand new, wider, more efficient roadways. It's active rebuilding, not passive zoning out.
Okay, so let's jump right into the first stage of this construction project, the immediate gear shift that happens the moment you even begin to practice.
Okay.
But first, how do we define meditation here? I mean, in this research context, because there's so many different types.
That's a great question. The majority of the foundational research we're looking at focuses on what's called mindfulness meditation.
Okay.
This essentially means sitting comfortably, directing your attention, often to an anchor like the breath, or just being aware of your surroundings, and, this is the critical part, maintaining an attitude of non-judgmental awareness.
Non-judgmental.
Right. The core skill is just noticing when the mind wanders, maybe labeling the thought, and then gently redirecting your focus back to that anchor.
So it's not clearing the mind. It's training the mind to return.
Precisely.
So what happens biologically, I mean, the second we start doing that?
Well, the fastest measurable change happens in your autonomic nervous system.
The ANS.
Right, the ANS. So this system controls all your involuntary functions, including your stress response. And we're constantly flipping between the sympathetic, that's the fight or flight response.
The gas pedal.
Exactly, the gas pedal. And the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest or recovery system, the brake.
And most of us are, constantly leaning on that gas pedal.
All the time. Even minor daily deadlines keep that sympathetic system just a little bit elevated. Meditation almost instantaneously acts as a biological counterweight. It downregulates the sympathetic system.
Okay.
And it promotes parasympathetic dominance. And the physical outcome is immediate. Your heart rate slows down, your blood pressure might dip a little, your breathing deepens and calms. You are physically shifting your body out of alert mode.
And how does that calm translate electrically in the brain? We hear about brain waves changing, but what does that shift, say, from beta to alpha? What does that actually feel like?
It's a profound qualitative change. When you are alert, solving problems, processing things around you.
Replying to emails, driving in traffic.
Right. Your brain is predominantly running on these fast, highly active beta waves. But when meditation begins, the activity shifts to slower, more rhythmic alpha waves.
The shift to alpha.
Yeah, and alpha waves are associated with a state of relaxed wakefulness, an inner awareness. You're still alert, but your focus turns inward, away from all those external stressors.
The thoughts don't just disappear.
No, not at all. But they lose their sharp edge. Instead of being carried away by this, rushing river of beta thought, you find yourself kind of sitting on the bank, just observing the water flow by.
That makes sense.
And with deep, consistent practice, you can sometimes even move into theta waves, which are associated with even deeper relaxation, creativity, and and memory consolidation.
So the analogy holds up. You've gone from running the city's traffic control room during rush hour, that's beta, to sitting in a quiet central park and just noticing the wind. That's alpha.
That's it, exactly.
Okay, now let's unpack this. Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about the long-term civil engineering projects.
This is where it gets fascinating. The brain's structural flexibility, its neuroplasticity, means that consistent attention training creates permanent physical changes. We see the brain acting literally like a muscle.
How so? What part of it is actually getting stronger?
Two main things happen. First, you get increased gray matter density. Gray matter is where the neural cell bodies and synapses are. It's the fundamental processing power of the brain.
Yeah.
Regular meditators show a thicker cortex and increased density in key regions. The two most critical areas that get strengthened are the hippocampus and the prefrontal cortex, the PFC.
Let's start with the PFC. We always hear it called the brain's CEO. So what specific functions get a boost when its processing power increases?
Well, the PFC handles all the executive functions, planning, decision-making, sustained attention. When the PFC is strengthened, its ability to act as a cognitive filter improves dramatically.
A filter?
Yeah. In a busy environment, your brain is getting thousands of data points, sights, sounds, smells, your own anxieties. A strong PFC helps you effectively reject the irrelevant input. This is the biological mechanism of better focus. You waste less energy on noise, and you can dedicate more resources to the actual task at hand.
That structural change alone sounds like a huge benefit for learning.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the hippocampus as well.
Yes. So the hippocampus is essential for memory converting short-term memories into long-term storage. It's also vital for learning. And since meditation reduces cortisol and general stress levels,
That stress hormone.
the hippocampus operates in a cleaner environment. Those stress hormones actually impair its function. So by strengthening it structurally and reducing the toxic stress hormones, meditators often show better working memory and faster learning.
Okay, wait, let's be a little skeptical for a second. Is this structural change permanent? I mean, if a longtime meditator stops practicing for, say, a year, does that gray matter density just fade away, like muscle atrophy?
That is a critical question. And the sources suggest that while the physical structures, they do remain more robust than before, the functional benefits require maintenance.
You have to keep it up.
Think of it this way. You keep the new, stronger road that you built, that's the gray matter, but if you stop driving on it, the road might become less efficient. You lose that immediate access to traffic control, the moment-to-moment calm and focus. Consistency is what reinforces those pathways.
Maintenance is key.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Now let's move to what seems like the most dramatic finding, the one that deals with fear and reaction, the amygdala.
Ah, yes, the amygdala, the brain's primal threat detection center. It's the fire alarm. It reacts much, much faster than the logical PFC.
Has to.
Exactly. It's responsible for that flood of adrenaline and tension when you perceive danger or stress. And the research here is incredible. Consistent meditation actually reduces the amygdala's activity, making it less reactive.
Less reactive.
And over time, some studies show a measurable decrease in its physical size.
It shrinks the alarm center.
Yeah.
Okay. Use that smoke alarm analogy to explain what that really means functionally.
Okay, so if your amygdala is hypersensitive, the smoke alarm goes off when you burn toast. It goes off when the dog barks, when you get a slightly critical email. The signal is loud, it's instant, and it triggers a full fight-or-flight response.
Right, for burnt toast.
Exactly. When the amygdala shrinks or cools down, the alarm gets recalibrated. It only goes off for genuine threats, a real fire, not for these minor irritations. The reduced physical size literally reflects fewer neural connections dedicated to high alert responses.
So you get this strengthening of the logical PFC happening at the same time as this cooling of the reactive amygdala. That seems like a fundamental upgrade to our human operating software.
It is the essence of emotional regulation. And there's more. We also see strengthening in another critical region, the insula.
The insula. Define interoception for us.
Interoception is your ability to sense the internal state of your body. Not just pain, but the really subtle signals. Sensing your heartbeat, the tension in your shoulders, that slight clench in your stomach when you start feeling stressed.
Right.
Meditation strengthens the insula, and that dramatically enhances this inner body awareness.
And why is that so important? Why is noticing your heartbeat so key to emotional regulation?
Because your body registers stress before your conscious mind labels it as an emotion. If you strengthen interoception, you notice the tension building, the chest tightening, the breath getting shallow, and you can label that feeling as rising stress moments before it turns into, say, external anger.
So it gives you a head start.
It gives the PFC the crucial extra seconds it needs to intervene and choose a calm response rather than just reacting.
So what does this entire symphony of rewiring actually mean for you, the person just trying to navigate a complex, stressful world?
I mean, we're talking about real-world stress resilience. You're not just coping with stress anymore. You are structurally prepared to meet challenges. That cooler amygdala means fewer jumps of anxiety and irritation. The stronger PFC means that even when stress does come up, you're better equipped to stay focused on the solution rather than just spiraling into worry.
And if the hippocampus is better supported, I assume we see improved cognitive function, especially in high-pressure situations.
Absolutely. The less brain power you spend managing fear and anxiety, the more is available for complex problem solving. It translates to better focus, clearer thinking under duress. The whole system just runs cleaner.
Okay, let's go back to that driving scenario. You get cut off in traffic. The untrained brain gets an instant amygdala spike, right? Leading to tension, yelling, just wasted energy.
Right.
What does the rewired brain do?
The rewired brain receives the stimulus, the car cutting you off, but that reduced amygdala trigger means the emotional spike is muted. At the same time, the stronger insula registers the minor physical reaction, maybe a slight tightening of your grip on the wheel, and the strengthened PFC steps in. It observes the impulse to react, recognizes it as non-essential, and you just take a deeper breath. The situation passes without hijacking your whole system.
The reaction is chosen, not forced.
That's it. That is the difference between living reactively and living consciously.
And we should briefly note, by staying in that rest and digest state more often, the physical health benefits are pretty massive too.
Oh, absolutely. Chronic stress, that sympathetic system being stuck on, is highly corrosive to the body. When you reduce that baseline stress, you support healthy blood pressure, heart rate, immune function, better sleep. You're essentially reducing the wear and tear on your entire system.
This all sounds incredible, but I think the biggest hurdle for most people is consistency. So for the listener who wants to start translating this science into personal results, what are the simple, actionable steps?
Okay, the steps are incredibly simple. You can start immediately. 1, find a comfortable, upright position.
Doesn't have to be a pretzel shape.
No, not at all. A chair is fine. 2, close or soften your gaze. 3, choose your anchor, usually the feeling of the breath, the rise and fall of the abdomen.
Okay.
4, when thoughts inevitably come up, don't judge them. Don't follow them. Just simply label them, planning, worrying, and gently return your focus to the breath. And 5, start small, 5 to 10 minutes.
Why is 5 or 10 minutes so effective? Why not just do an hour once a week?
Because we're literally reinforcing neural pathways. It's like exercise. You wouldn't expect your biceps to grow by lifting weights for 8 hours just once a month.
Good point.
Neuroplasticity relies on frequency and repetition. Every single time you redirect your attention from a wandering thought back to the breath, you are firing and strengthening that neural circuit in your prefrontal cortex. These short, repeated actions are what reinforce the new pathways until focused attention becomes the default.
That makes perfect sense. Now, a necessary context point. We're talking about all these incredible benefits, but is there a risk of people using meditation as a form of avoidance? Just, zoning out to escape?
That's a critical distinction. Genuine processing requires awareness. Avoidance is distraction. The practice we've described, mindfulness, is the very opposite of avoidance.
How so?
You are training yourself to notice thoughts and emotions as they arise, without judgment. By observing them, you create space between the stimulus and your reaction. And that space allows for processing, for integration, rather than just suppression. It's not about feeling nothing. It's about feeling everything without being overwhelmed by it.
And a final reminder, this is not a one-stop cure.
Correct. While the structural benefits are powerful, they are gradual. Meditation is a tool for building resilience and awareness, but it works best when it's integrated into a healthy life that includes good sleep, exercise, and strong social connections, all things that support overall brain health.
So when we sum all this up, the ultimate takeaway is this. You are not passively resting your mind when you meditate.
Not at all.
You are engaging in intensive neurological training. You're actively rebuilding your internal city, clearing the traffic, strengthening the control tower, and installing a much less jumpy fire alarm. The result is a more resilient, calmer, and more present self.
You are intentionally choosing a state of being over a state of reacting.
So, if you can train your brain the same way you train your body, making yourself stronger and more present with just 5 or 10 minutes a day, What are you waiting for? Start noticing those internal signals, the early chirps of that smoke alarm today.
And remember, the goal isn't to stop the thoughts. It's just to stop following them down the rabbit hole.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
Now you know, meditation isn't just about relaxing or feeling calm. It literally reshapes the way your brain works, improving focus, emotional balance, and even memory. And the best part? You don't need hours a day to see results. Just a few minutes of daily stillness can change everything. I'm really glad you joined me in this videocast. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe. And maybe take a deep breath before you do.